Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the recent update that Gran Turismo has had, the March update for 2025. So Kaz released the silhouettes a couple of days ago, and the predictions were the Aston Martin Vantage, V8 Vantage from 2018, the Renault Kangoo, weren't sure about the first or second generation, and some random Mazda gets out of it later. So let's see if we were correct. And let's start with the Vantage here, because I think this is the best car of the update personally. So 2018 Vantage, like I said, and this kind of serves as a middle ground between the kind of V8 Vantage of 2015, kind of an entry-level car, but still quite a nice car, to be fair, I do like driving it, and the DB11, which is kind of the more luxurious version of the V8 Vantage. So this kind of serves as a middle ground, like I said. Available from the dealership from 210,000 credits, so, not too much, but, not exactly cheap either, but still affordable for the everyday player. As you can see here with the Aston, we have a large variety of colours to pick from, some really nice colours here. I went with the yellow, as you can see. And of course, coupled with the exclusive 177 and the insane Aston Martin Valkyrie, we now have a nice variety of Aston Martins in the game. Now standard, it has this 4-litre twin-turbo V8 borrowed from Mercedes. It features in many Mercedes cars. I'll put some on the screen as you can see here. Then Aston used it in the V8 Vantage with DB11 and DB12. Couple of other various different cars, so the engine has been shared about between the manufacturers quite a bit, but it is a very solid engine. Around 500 horsepower standard, as you can see here, certainly not short on power. 0 to 60 in around 3.5 seconds, and here you can see I was able to get it up to around 200 miles an hour. Realistically, I don't think you get it past 190, simply because you run out of space, but it can do around 200 if you have a obviously straight enough road. It does sound really nice as well. You do go through the gears quite a bit, especially in kind of lower speeds, but obviously that's not nothing really to be worried about. And it sits at 595 horsepower, just below the 600, so you can use it in lots of 600 pp events, the World Tour Car Championship maybe. I tried it in the European 600 pp Championship, as you can see here, and I was racing against some very nice cars, as Alfa Romeo, Julian, GTB, and I think that would be this car's main competition. Both of the European cars around 500 horsepower, give or take, and both sport cars, but obviously Julia's an estate and the Aston Martin's obviously a sports car. But let's talk about the tuning. So I mentioned it's around 600 pp standard. I think 700 pp will be a good kind of benchmark train for tuning. You get there pretty easily. You can see on screen the sports computer takes it to nearly 530 horsepower, and that's just one singular upgrade for 2,500 credits. I mean, that's insane. Maybe get some sport medium tyres, a little bit of weight reduction. I think that is one thing that lets this car down. You wouldn't really notice it, but it is quite heavy, 1,500 kilograms. Stage 1 and 2 weight reduction should get this to around 1,200 kg, something like that. This will make it a lot more competitive. I've seen some 700 pp builds online, various different other things that you can copy. I think it will be quite a competitive car as well. Of course, if you wanted to completely max out the power, I think you could get this to around 850-900 horsepower. The turbo upgrades aren't great, they only get it around 70 horsepower extra, but some of the other engine upgrades add so much power that I think you could get it quite high. You don't expect it to be breaking any records. As for the tuning for the Aston Martin, well, it has this really ugly front bumper. I don't know what they were doing there. Nothing for the side of the car. The back of the car, you have this kind of diffuser extra bit, nothing special, and not a very nice rear wing. Bit disappointing for the tuning parts there. The overall very nice car, very good addition to the game, and I think a car that you should all try. Now the next car is a bit of a surprising one, and that is the Renault Kangoo. Now, unexpected to say the least, but Polyphony does like throwing these wild cards around. Last month we saw the Mercedes Unimog, another wild card, and these are cars that are generally maybe not very competitive, but are very fun to drive around. So this Renault Kangoo is the first gen, but we weren't sure whether it was the first or second gen that was going to be added. As you can see here, we have the first gen. This ran from 1997 to around 2003 when it was facelifted, and then to around 2007. This one we have here is from 2001, which means that probably deliberately actually, so you can park from the brand central as well as the used car dealership. Now just a side note here, it is a really cheap car actually, 18k in a brand central, 13,500 in a used car dealership, and I'm not exactly sure, but I think this may be the cheapest car in the whole game. So at least it has that going for it. Rebadged as a Nissan and many other manufacturers sent all around the world this car, and a variety of engines, petrol, diesel, but we have this 1.4 litre inline 4 petrol, nothing amazing here. Apparently it has a 0.36 drag coefficient, but I very much doubt that, considering this thing can get above 95. I mean, I understand it is a van, but it's got around 70 horsepower, weighs just over a tonne, so it's not exactly heavy. But, obviously it's not meant for racing. As you can see here, I was taking it around to Cooper. It has some weird suspension. You can't really tell it goes over bumps at all. Suspension's really soft, but around the corners it doesn't really roll very much. That's a bit weird. It's really slow though, to be fair. I mean, yeah, it may be a good car for beginners to try and drive with, or learn how to play the game. But I think stock, really not going to be much potential there, if I'm being honest. So the Renault Kangoo, if you want to go down the tuning route, in terms of the parts, nothing really much going on here, just removing a bit of the plastic and kind of making it a bit more basic really. In terms of power tuning, as you can see, these power upgrades, no matter what you do, doesn't really generate much power for the car. I mean, you could probably go weight reduction if you wanted to, some tyres are probably advised, maybe some suspension, but you're not going to really get much out of this car. Apparently you can get it to around 290 horsepower when fully tuned, so that's not too bad, especially for a van. I mean, if you wanted to compare this with the other vans, the Alphard and all that stuff that have been added, have a little van race, I guess that could be something that you could do. And you get it to around 861 kg, which is quite light to be fair, especially once again for a van. Yeah, not going to be a crazy car, nothing really competitive, not going to change the game. But it's probably quite a nice fun car to drive, very cheap as well, so if you've got limited money but you want something fun, then this Renault Kangoo is definitely it. Now as for this Mazda here, I'm not going to go very much in depth because to be honest I don't think it's an interesting car. So it's the crossover version of the Mazda 3 that was added last year. We have so many similar cars of these Mazdas and Japanese kind of hatchbacks, there's just nothing really unique about this car. I mean, it's relatively cheap as you can see here, about 8 colours to pick from. Or maybe you could take it off-road if you really wanted to. I've been online and actually the most popular car of the update was the Renault Kangoo. People just making memes and post vans and all that stuff, Pizza Hut delivery vans, quite funny. The Aston's a relatively popular car, but I don't really see any love for this Mazda. So I mean, unless you have a personal connection to this car, I wouldn't really advise you get it. I mean, you could get it if you want. It's quite a cheap car, but the Kangoo's, even half as cheap as that. But one good thing about this update is all the cars available from Brand Central. So at any given time, you can just go and purchase these cars. No waiting around for them to kind of come back, as they are accessible at all times. So on top of the cars, we also got an updated version of the Sophie AI. Now this would be very beneficial for custom races, making it a bit more engaging, all that stuff. But only available on PS5 though, so a bit of a shame for the PS4 users like myself. We also got some new escapes locations, some new engine swaps, new events, new Suzuki menu book for some reason. Nothing amazing in this update, no track or anything, not a massive variety of cars, but obviously better than nothing. So yeah, that is the overview of this update.